say these days. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. If you're listening on 93.3 FM, thanks for doing that. You're supporting the only locally owned and operated radio station in all of Tallahassee, and I appreciate those who support their local businesses. Thanks for doing that. Same goes for you, supporting Warchant.com, Warchant TV. Hello to everybody in the chat. How you doing? Libations Friday loosey-goosey means Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports will be along next segment. We'll take a look at a couple conference championship games, a couple NFL games, including the Jaguars as well as the Bucks. And we'll do what we do normally with him, and then we'll have Mom in hour number 2. And Tom and I will lead off this with I think they fixed it. They got it all remedied now, buddy. That's it, Patrick Surtain. You take it on down the road and watch the weight of suck lift from this program and the successes become bountiful. Of course, that's not true. And I think the timing, at least with the name today, and if you don't know, sorry, I should probably inform everybody of the situation. Patrick Surtain has been let go, and there are rumors of others to follow, but as of right now, they're not official. So we'll see. It looks like your running backs coach is going to run to Arkansas, which is a really smart move on his part. If you're a coach on this staff, like if you get a reprieve and somehow don't get fired, you know, you can look around and see the writing on the wall. And if you can reset the clock and ride out and stay ahead of the guillotine, I say you do it. That's what you got to do, right? Wouldn't you? I can picture it right now. Tommy Lang's over here looking around going, this operation has me a little frisky. I'm a little concerned that we're not going to have a job in a couple of seasons. Things don't seem to be moving in the right direction. I'm not real sure I believe in the leadership here at Florida State or my direct boss in Mike Norvell, and I'm not sure he's going to be here for much longer. What's that? You got a job for me where? And it's a 3-year deal, and I start fresh with a non-dysfunctional front office and athletic department, and one who's not adhering to a ridiculous NIL view of what won't be enforced and will? Yeah, I'm out. I am the F out of here. Let's go. So you'll see that. Now, what you do worry about from this point forward, and again, we'll see if more names are on the way. There have been rumors, obviously, that Tony Tokarz could be on his way out. Papuchis could be on his way out. A lot of people were very surprised Papuchis' name wasn't the first name mentioned today. Most thought Papuchis would have been fired at some point last year, let alone waiting till now. So his name isn't the first mentioned. We'll see if he keeps his job. Probably tough to stomach if he does. Just another thing that you'll have to endure, because this is inarguable. He has failed at his job. I like him. I like him. I think he's a nice guy. Has not done a good job.
There's a lot of stuff flying around right now, obviously, but I would assume, perhaps erroneously, that in the last year, that Florida State has not added any years to the contracts of its assistants. After 2 and 10, like they didn't add anything.
Let's hope.
But if they didn't, a lot of the contracts, including Surtain's, expire in February of 2026, meaning this was their last full season as a coach. Tokarz was one of them. Papuchis was another. Chris Thompson, a lot of guys. Some that were already fired last year, but a lot of guys had contracts, David Johnson, that expire in February 2026. So in theory, if nothing has changed since that contract information was released, you'd almost have to announce that Papuchis is back on an extension if you were keeping him. It wouldn't just be like, well, we're going to keep him for next. No, you'd have to announce an extension.
Yeah, my guess is they're not going to announce that.
Probably not renewing a contract. Yeah. Probably not. Yeah. But yeah, it's a tough deal when everybody kind of understands who needs to go. And the first guy is the defensive backs coach. Like, what?
Well, and
not that the other guys aren't going to go. It's just that, Mike had a chance to, if he was prepared to, at the press conference for the signing day to say, well, okay, we have a series of changes that we're making here. I know that there's a report out there about one particular change, but here's the series of 3. And you're like, oh, well, somebody caught wind of the Surtain thing. Like we got the text earlier this morning that it was Surtain. All right. But Mike had, 4 moves that he had been prepared to talk about. It's kind of wild that it seems apparent now that there was one meeting had for a termination and not quite others. Like Surtain's the first guy on your list? Okay.
The problem that most fans will have with that is that he can actually really recruit. Now, I've had a problem with the fact that the players that he recruits, as high caliber as they may be, don't play well. You could make that observation, that they don't play well. And so you're curious about the actual coaching, but you're not curious about the acquisition of talent. He can recruit. And you could argue he is your best recruiter, not named Chris Thompson, and I don't need another tight end. We have 50. So.
Yeah, of the old guard, yes. Yeah, Tim Harris is rising up the ranks pretty quickly, but yes, of the old guard, there's no question.
Yeah, so there's where we're at. By the way, so I was laughing because, we hear a lot about some of the frustrations that people over at FSU are feeling, and that includes all of the other sports. All the other sports are starting to get – this is going to get interesting because you already know – well, Luke's made it publicly known, obviously. So I don't have to speculate on Luke's view of their lack of funding and percentage of rev share. He's clearly –
yeah, he did it again the other night.
Well, he's clearly not happy.
It was a little less so than the first
time. It was a
time.
lot less so, but it's still – he's not happy.
In the circle of trust, post players are expensive. Like, well, yeah, you just bought one. So everybody hang tight.
But not because of what they got from
no, fair.
Not from what they got from basketball's NIL or
fair.
rev share, buddy.
Yeah.
So,
or if they did, it was 100% of the rev share
right,
for that one player.
Right. Yeah. So no, that's the problem. But you hear whispers. Soccer's a little unhappy despite having wild success. I mentioned to you earlier, a few weeks back, about a situation that happened with a player for softball. And I said, God help that man if he loses Lonnie. He ain't coming back from that. My larger point isn't to speculate about which of the coaches at Florida State are beginning to get pissed. It's just that is out there, and they are. And so this would be the beginnings, the unraveling that you begin to see. There has to be an adjustment in the way that the athletic director views NIL and the budget that you are going to commit to NIL.
Yeah, it would relieve a lot of pressure because by definition, rev share and a cap at 20.5 is going to create a pressure cooker amongst the coaches because now you have, here are the resources.
And here's what percentage we're going to pay to football.
Football,
right.
We're going to give you a platter. And then these other sports, we're going to give you maybe a paper bread plate.
Maybe.
And take what you can.
A paper bread
and
plate.
I can't promise there's going to be anything on the table by the time you bring the plate to the table. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Here's a napkin. Here's half a napkin. Here's a paper towel for you. Grab what you can. There's a little bit of corn left over there. Yeah. So it automatically across college sports and athletics creates this issue.
Well, if you consider, however you want to calculate it, Tom, that if you're spending let's just use $20 million for the purposes of the conversation from the rev share, right? If you're spending, say, 15 to 16 million of that on football, maybe 17. Well, there's not a lot to go around for the other sports, right? Okay, so like you said already, there's going to be a little angst and consternation there. Most fans hearing that won't say, well, we should give more money to those other sports. They won't. They'll say, no. We need to give it to football. This is where the NIL naivete comes into play because what you're hearing schools like LSU and schools like Auburn and other schools now say publicly because they understand NIL Go is effectively dead. That, we got you. We're going to spend somewhere in the neighborhood of another $15 to $17 million dedicated solely to football and NIL to add to the rev share numbers. So at this point, what we have for football is in the neighborhood of $30 million to spend on our football roster. Now, That flies in the face of the current rules that are in place.
Yeah, market value and so forth.
None of those rules have proven to be enforceable. So the whole system is being scoffed at openly by a lot of programs, their coaches, their alumni, their boosters, and their athletic directors. It is telling you that they don't believe that it's enforceable because there is no collectively bargained contract with the players. And until you make them employees, you can't. And so there's also lots of ways around it. I can take a kid and say, I want to give him $800,000. Well, here's $400,000 from RevShare. And the other $400,000 is going to come from that business over there, and we're going to give it to your mom. And we're not going to report a GD thing. We're not reporting anything. We're just going to put $400,000 in your mom's account. It's $800,000 in total for you two. You feel good about that?
And
good.
We are not going to call her back.
And we're done here. But if you have an athletic director who doesn't believe that is A, happening, or B, the route you should take, and puts his head in the sand believing that retroactively the schools that do that are going to be punished, and anybody that does it as out in the open currently as LSU and Auburn, they too will be made to pay, well, then you're not funding your football program to an equal playing field, and you're going to lose players. You're going to lose incoming players. You're going to lose players on your roster because they're going to say, well, I don't know what's what about the system. I know that I was offered $800,000 by Texas A&M, and you're offering me $300,000 and telling me you can't budge off that. I'm going to take the $800,000, and I'm going to leave.
I hear you, man.
This is a real effing problem.
It is. What was it that stirred you today about that relative to the Surtain news?
Because I'm hearing two very prominent players are now going to leave. And so this is very frustrating for me and everybody else who cares about this program. If that turns out to be true and the reason they left had to do with money, in addition to perhaps being slightly upset with the actions taken today, you have to ask yourself how prepared they were. You have to ask yourself, are they doing everything they possibly can to retain their better players? And you have to ask yourself, did you even have a plan? And the answer feels like no to all of those. And I may be wrong on that. Let's wait and see. I don't think I'm going to be, but let's wait and see. It's very, very frustrating. You're waiting for the answers. You're waiting for the vision to be laid out. You're waiting for the names. You're waiting for all of the steps that are going to be taken in the plan. And you're not seeing things that line up. And you just went 5-7 on the heels of 2-10. And the guy who orchestrated it is back. And many others will be asked to leave, I would assume. And that's just a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I could see the frustration as it pertains to players in the roster. There's one name that's circulating immediately with this news, and that is Jabril Rawls.
Mm-hmm.
That would have happened anyway. I think even if Surtain was retained in terms of the name circulating, he's going to draw interest because we're not very good right now. He is, and people want good players on their roster. So I think it would have happened anyway. In terms of his name coming up, I think so. Now, actions taken, I don't know. That could be different. The other thing that you're going to have here is, I don't disagree with you on any of the points you're making about investment. However, if we are going to revert back to the Wild West for a period of time here,
well, it's always
you
been.
Also have to. Well, but I think there's this middle ground here with RevShare for a few months where everybody kind of was waiting to see what's going to happen. But if this reverts back to pre-house settlement, it's just that now there's RevShare on top of this extra money you're going to spend. If it devolves into that, you still also, once you have reasonable people in place, by your definition, you're looking for people who will guide that vision in modern times. You also have to protect your money and say, you want $850,000 for what? You're a mediocre player. Get the hell out of here.
Well, yeah, but then there's players that aren't mediocre that you need to keep around.
No, agreed. But to me, what this signals, if the SCORE Act and the CSC and NIL go fall apart, is that you're also once again going to have a market that would swell beyond reason for players who don't provide the value even close to the dollar amount that they're going to command. Because you're going to have a lot of desperate programs that are just going to try to spend indiscriminately across all positions, and they're actually not going to get the best bang for their buck. I'm not saying that we're there right now to where you can evaluate those things and say, no, $500,000 final answer. But I think that's the next thing we're also going to need is that type of office in place.
Well, what does the athletic director do then? You're bringing in a guy to do the job of the guy that.
Well, the AD should never, I don't think, in my view of an athletics department, the AD should never be in charge of the cap and be in charge of player negotiations. That would be silly.
No, I don't want it to be in charge of the cap or player negotiations, but you're going to bring in a guy to oversee the athletic department, oversee the football program, which is the job of the AD.
I think when you get down to the dollars and cents of negotiations, there needs to be somebody else.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But exclude that. I'm talking about taking a look and evaluating the program and how it's being run by the head football coach and the good and the bad, which was said we were doing after 2-10.
Yeah.
And clearly the conclusions that were drawn and the actions taken subsequently failed. And now you're going to remove that person to some degree even more. So you're stripping multiple people of responsibilities that ordinarily, traditionally, they're paid handsomely for.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's why I believed it was a farce that Mike was able to run out of the tunnel after the Stanford game. I still believe that. And you're saying it comes the other way as well.
Yes.
Because you're having to bring somebody in to prop up two other people when it comes to football. Yeah, I hear you. I think that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I think that's also why, it's like, how close are you to God in terms of the hallway in a corporate setting? When that statement's released, why is he the guy on the bottom? You know, you got 4 graphs. You got the president, the head football coach, the chairman of the board, and then the athletic director. Usually the athletic director would lead the way.
You would think, but he wants to appear to be supported by principal players, the president and the chairman of the board of trustees.
Yeah, this is very, very in the weeds on PR. I think if you want to be supported, that means your quote's first and everybody else backs you underneath you.
We agree about how it would have looked.
Yeah.
Also, I wouldn't have had 4 people on a press release.
Agreed. No, I hear you on the inefficiency of the way things are running right now as it pertains to football. Yeah.
Well, and a lot of it just feels like they're around every turn. You're like, well, I don't think there was a plan. I don't think there was a plan. This feels like we're doing it on the fly. If there was a plan, they would have. Let's go.
Yeah, you could argue that if Surtain leaked and Florida State didn't leak it, right? And that's just news that people got because of people inside. Again, we were recording something this morning, got the text. You probably would have more than just Surtain ready to go today as you push back your presser from Wednesday to Friday. Now, I think that in retrospect is going to be small potatoes because they're going to be gone anyway. I don't think that that's this overriding thing. But it is just another unnecessary step where you go, huh? So that the first guy that you're going to ask for accountability from is Surtain? You just gave up, 300 yards on the ground. We're going after the.
I think also you would have had names lined up and ready to roll to announce about the guys that are leaving who are not going to be renewed because they would have been told that they're not being renewed and they would have found other jobs.
Sure. Now, I'm not going to assume anything with this football program. That is a very dangerous thing to do. If you assume common sense, if you assume anything with this football program. But I am going to guess that this time next week there will have been several more changes. My God.
Let's hope, Tom. Troy, James Madison, Kennesaw State, Jacksonville State, North, that would be North, not North, North Texas, and Tulane, UNLV, and Boise State, all tonight on Libations Friday. You want to sit down with some meat and potato games that matter? Because Georgia, Alabama kind of matters, but not really. There's some games that really don't matter in the conference championship. Like, I think Indiana, Ohio State matters, at least in the case of Indiana trying to win a championship, a Big Ten championship. But I don't think Ohio State's in any danger of losing their home game, losing their bye.
No, they should have the bye. They're going to get the bye.
They're set. Yeah, they're set. So there's not a lot on the line for them either. That's what I mean about the disappointment in this weekend becoming what it's become. But there are some games that do matter.
Perfect example. If you've got a star player on either one of those teams and they're a little bit bruised in the game, and you
could sit them.
Yeah, we don't need this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose you right now because we're going to get the bye week. We're going to be
playoff to play. Yeah, absolutely. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, will join us to talk about it next. Jeff Cameron, Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Feeling sluggish? Wake up your body the right way with Vigor. The all-new Vigor Cold Plunge Tub from Hot Spring Spas is now available exclusively at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Boost circulation, reduce inflammation, sharpen your focus, and more. Elite athletes do it daily, and now you can too. Experience the power of cold therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Welcome to Fenn Chiropractic. What in the world happened to you?
Well, it was Thanksgiving, and it started out normal. We had deep-fried turkey, lukewarm beer, and a political debate that escalated into a deviled egg fight. Then Cousin Darryl said the Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl. And boom, there's folding chairs flying. Somebody tried to suplex Uncle Roy right through the buffet table.
Oh, my Lord.
Then Grandma pulled out her old wrestling belt and said, let's settle this in the yard. That's when Hank stepped in. Hanky Panky, my emotional support alligator. He tail whipped the potato salad in the neighbor's yard and stared down my brother-in-law to stop the yelling, and then he calmly slid into the hot tub like nothing happened.
So, how did you get hurt?
I got hurt when I tried to high-five Hank. I slipped on a gravy boat and I landed on a lawn gnome.
Family drama, holiday injuries, or gator-related back pain? Get adjusted at Fenn Chiropractic. Visit fennchiro.com. That's FENNCHIRO.com.
Just like family, your chiropractor loves you and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
And here come the leaves, thousands of them, falling fast, covering every inch of the yard. But wait, who's this rushing in? It's the Lawn Johns with the ultimate fall cleanup blitz. From clearing leaves to fresh pine straw and mulch, the Lawn Johns dominate the field, your yard, so you can focus on what matters. Grilling, chilling, and cheering on your team. Don't let leaves sack your game day fun. Call the Lawn Johns today and win the battle of the backyard. The Lawn Johns, your lawn, our game.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-298-5026. 800-298-5026. 800-298-5026. That's 800-298-5026.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Nations Friday rolls on. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, and Warchant TV. That means our man, Lee Sterling, one more time at least. We'll have more. We'll have more because of the NFL and the playoffs and all the things. But this was a weekend, Lee, where in the past we would be so excited about this weekend, and I think there are some unintended consequences, of course, of the expanded playoff, and that is that this weekend is not what it once was. There are some games, conference championship games, that kind of don't matter, and that bothers me a little bit. Can you imagine if Ohio State, Indiana, Lee, and by the way, Paramount Sports, everybody, Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, go check it out, go online. Lee will tell you all the things when we go game of the week. But can you imagine if Indiana, Ohio State was winner take all? You're going to the postseason or you're not?
Right.
Can you imagine what that would mean? I mean, and Georgia, Alabama, neither one of these teams need to win this game. There are some ramifications possibly, but I mean, not what it used to be.
Well, I think that the selection committee might have taken them away. Yeah. Hunter Yurichek's interview after they moved Alabama up one spot, disgraceful. I mean, we know that the SEC and the ESPN are in bed together. But what he said to try to just very impressed a few members of the committee were the way they got off to a 17-0 lead, and then the 4th and 2 play, and they held on for the win against a tough team at home. Auburn did not win one conference game at home. They were a 5 and also playing back starting his second game. It's absolutely disgraceful. They were moving them up one spot to protect them in case they lost. And, last year as a Miami fan, I did not think. And I think I'm pretty objective. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think you are, yes.
Okay. I thought Miami had no business being in the playoff last year. They would have lost probably 52-35 to someone.
Well, they couldn't stop anybody, right?
Right. Couldn't stop the cold. But this year, I think that their resume is good enough, and I think they'd be a tough out in the first round for maybe everyone except for the Oregon Ducks. So that being said, Alabama beat a losing team. Notre Dame held serve and looked good in their game against Stanford. They were up big and then let Stanford score late. Miami beat Pittsburgh so bad, Jeff, I don't even know if they're going to be able to hold spring practice. They beat the brakes out of them.
Yeah, well, and I was trying to hint to you that I thought that might happen. I think that Miami's roster is constructed really well. That Miami is the only team, Lee, that has a SEC-type roster in the ACC. Right. And it is a shame what we're watching, the bastardization of the process with college football. Look, how are they going to justify when BYU gets their ass beat by Texas Tech? Yeah. How are they going to justify when Miami and Notre Dame are right next to each other in these rankings? Right. And the whole time they've been telling everybody, well, we don't look at them as being on the same tier. Well, they're going to be ranked right next to one another, and you're going to tell me that they're not on the same tier, and Miami beat Notre Dame head-to-head. But we both know there is zero chance they're keeping Notre Dame out of this playoff. Right. And so, listen, I'm glad that the world gets to wake up what every Florida State fan already knows, because we got screwed, legendarily screwed. Yeah. It's never happened before in the history of college football what happened to Florida State. And,
Agreed.
And now Miami's going to get screwed, absolutely screwed. And
here's what Miami should do. Miami should tell Notre Dame, November 9th, we're not playing. Here's your check for $3 million, whatever it is. And we're also not playing you 2 years from now. I'm going to make we've been talking about this here rumors. I think Florida State and Clemson are going to the SEC in the next 2 years. You agree?
I hope you're right. I just Florida State is so far away from where they need to be when they get there. But go ahead, yeah.
Okay, I think they're going to end up there. I think I'm hearing Miami and Duke are going to the Big Ten.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's interesting to me. So North Carolina is going to get left out in the cold?
No, they'll go somewhere.
Yeah, they'll end up in either the SEC or the Big Ten.
Probably the SEC.
Same with Virginia.
Can you imagine Duke and North Carolina not playing twice a year in basketball?
Well, I mean, that's what's happened in this sport. That's what's happened.
Right.
Virginia and Duke is interesting because we all want to laugh out loud, which the scenario exists by which if Duke beats Virginia, the ACC does not get a team into the postseason, which tells you all that you need to know about the tie-breaking methods of your conference. If a 5-loss Duke team can make it to the championship game and 10-2 Miami doesn't. Now, look, Miami is always going to have this problem under Cristobal. They are always going to lose a game or two. They have zero business losing so long as he's coach. But he can recruit his ass off, and they have a top-tier roster. We all know that's the team that should make the playoff. But they're probably not going to, and it could turn out that if Duke upsets Virginia, the ACC doesn't get anybody in, which would be a disaster for this conference. Virginia's favored by 3.5. Who you like?
I think Virginia's going to win. And Chandler Morris, they had a couple weeks where they were floundering, but he's all of a sudden found his way. And their defense actually ranks 28th in sacks. They had 4 sacks on the Duke quarterback, Mensah, in that earlier game where they beat them 34-17 and they dominated play. So I think they're going to get enough pressure here to stall a couple drives. I like Virginia 30-24 in front of small line, in front of a small crowd. Maybe the over/under I'm making 22,311.
You know what's funny? I was looking at prices for tickets to go to the SEC championship game, or go to the Big Ten championship game, or go to the Big 12 championship game.
Right.
And then I got to the ACC championship game, and I thought, you could get 2 tickets right there around the 40 for $40.
Wow. There you go. That's like when I don't know if you know this, in Miami in the 60s until the merger.
Yeah.
They had, I'm trying to think of the name that they called it. The teams that didn't go to the championship in the NFL. I used to get to see the Cowboys against the Rams. Cowboys played a bunch. Who else? Green Bay played a couple times in the 60s. They would play in Miami.
Right.
I think it was the week after the championship game. They would get, I think the winner got $750 a player. The loser got $500. We would get games for tickets for $2.50 and sit on the 40-50 yard line.
Wow. By the way, that game you're talking about against Virginia, wasn't that game at one point 30-3?
Yeah. Blowout.
Yeah, it was a blowout. All right, let's get to your next one, which is Georgia-Alabama. Alabama has been insulated and moved up and rescued by the committee again so that they have no fear about losing this football game. Georgia minus 2.5.
Game's pretty much a home game and at the Mercedes Dome. I do believe that Georgia had 3 goals last week. Win the game, number 1, not get any players injured, and be vanilla, not show much. And they accomplished all 3. Alabama has tons of injuries. They might be without 5-6 starters for this game. They only scored 2 touchdowns against LSU a couple weeks ago. I think they're vulnerable here. And I know that Georgia's lost 10 of the last 11 as Kirby Smart to Alabama. That was mainly against Nick Saban. In the game earlier this year, Alabama played their best game of the season. They're not going to be able to replicate that. Georgia's going to win this game 35-20, and Sunday at noon, chaos.
Ohio State minus 4.5 against Indiana is the game I really want to see, because I have this weird belief that even though it doesn't matter, it may not even matter for seeding. Yeah. I think Ohio State's going to play hard. I think they're going to care. This is the revenge tour, which is odd since they just won the national championship. But Ryan Day is kind of like, you need us to beat Michigan? We're going to beat Michigan's ass. You want us to win the conference? All right, we'll win the conference. This is like sort of a, we'll do it all so that you can leave me alone. I'm tired of this nonsense. I've done everything there is to do except for I've not made you happy, so check, check, check. And then Indiana is easy to root for. This is really quite amazing. Now, this is the good aspect of what's happening in college football, where a program that has no business and has never had a business anywhere sniffing the top 25, let alone a conference championship, has a chance to win a national championship. Who wins?
So we might differ here. Usually we think the same, probably 75 to 85% of the time. I think that the whole emphasis for Ohio State the last 5-6 weeks was beating Michigan.
Right.
And they did, and they dominated.
Handily.
they were celebrating after that game like they won the national championship with their fans in the big house. Indiana, I don't think they spent more than 10 minutes preparing for Purdue. It was a 2-week preparation for this game here. I think Fernando Mendoza in a controlled environment, and I think the Indiana fans are going to show up and show out here. I think he's going to be able to move the ball up and down the field on Ohio State. It's tough to get that up 2 weeks in a row. I like Indiana here straight up, 27-24. Wrong team favored.
Nice. Live dog. I love it. I love it. Colts Jaguars, a big game. I got to give the Jaguars a lot of credit. Since that disastrous fourth quarter where they choked it away and blew a 19-point lead, they've won 3 straight. The Jags are showing a backbone. They never do. So here they are catching a point and a half from the Colts, who are reeling a little bit. This is a hell of a game. Who you got?
Yeah. Public's going to be all over Jacksonville. Home underdog. They've won 10 in a row in Duval County here against Indianapolis. It has been a house of horrors here for the Colts. But I do believe that the Jacksonville offensive line's in shambles. They're without one starter. They have 3 other offensive linemen that are game-time decision, and 1 or 2 of them may not play. If that's the case, they're going to be limited here. I think Indy's offense is more explosive than the Jags, and I think their defense, even without Sauce, going to get the job. They got hosed by the officials last week against Texans. They had 3 or 4 horrific calls. I think Indianapolis, the right team is favored for a reason. Don't fall for the trap. Colts, 27-20 over the Jags.
Bucks beat to hell, slowly getting guys back. Saints are terrible. It's a good thing the Bucks emerged with a win over Arizona. You called it. Very close win, as we said it might be. They did get the win, though, and they're moving to the easier part of their schedule as they try to get guys back and healthy. Big spread. I got to check the number again today, Lee. What is 7.5, 8.5 against the Saints?
8.5.
8.5 against the Saints. Saints are a weird team. They're sometimes game. But obviously I like the Bucks to win. Do they cover?
I should have taken a sedative before I watched the Dolphins and Saints game last week. It was painful. The Saints, I mean, they try, and they're eventually once they get out of cap hell, I think they're going to be pretty good. They don't beat themselves, but the Bucks, I think, are much better. Bucky Irvin at running back here, they're getting healthy here, and I think their special teams will probably be the difference here. Also, lay the points here. Bucks 27-13.
Packers-Bears is the game of the week, and this feels like old school. Gotta have it. Here we go. 2 rivals. Bears-Packers. This is fun. This is finally fun again. I mean, the Packers have owned the Bears' ass forever. And now you got a coach who's spry, who comes out and says, F the Packers. It's our time. This is good, and I love this. How can folks get this game, Lee?
Well, just be one of the first 5 callers. Call 800-400-9741. Love this game. One side. I think there's a clear right side winner here. 800-400-9741. And we've been on a roll. Won last night with Detroit. Last weekend, Thanksgiving week, won Thursday, won Friday, won Saturday, big 4-1, and won again on Sunday. So you want to hop on board? How about this? Double down December. Every game from tonight, I got a couple games tonight that I love. You're going to get every game championship weekend. You're going to get 2 weeks of college football playoffs. You're going to get over 30 college bowl games. NFL, how hot have we been? The NFL last 11 weeks, 37-17-1 on our picks there. You're going to get 5 selections every single Sunday for the month of December. Call it Double Down December. It's our phone service through the end of the month. Normally $4.97 for your show. If they use coupon code SAVE100, just $397. One place, ParamountSports.com.
Always appreciate it, Lee. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.
2 weeks, bud. Take care. Be safe.
Good, brother. Be good, brother. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, joins us every Friday. We always appreciate that. He's got Virginia beating Duke. He's got Georgia beating Bama. He's got Indiana beating Ohio State straight up. I'd like to see it. Pretty cool story. An amazing story. He's got the Colts over the Jags. Butts fans are going to say no way. He's got my Bucks over the Saints, which ought to be the case. We'll see. And then the big game is the Packers and the Bears. ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. Packers-Bears game of the weekend. It's a good one. Chef Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local
Days
news.
are getting shorter, my friend. That's what happens in the wintertime. And while I love winter, I don't like the shortened days. Sometimes it leads to depression. You know what else leads to depression? Poor football. Poor football leads to depression. More on that in a moment. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/warchant and get on your way to being your best self. Yeah, Florida State football is depressing a lot of people. It's depressing me. It's depressing you. And we've got to talk about it on the regular. And sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to reach out to that somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, somebody that you thought, man, I should go have a cup of coffee and see how they're doing. Find out how the people in your life are doing. Communicate. Reach out. It's always a good idea. And that's true. Mental health as well. It's okay. Therapy works. And you'll ask yourself sometimes, why didn't I do this sooner? Talk to somebody that you can connect with that you haven't in the past to explain the way you're feeling. And you'll feel better about it. By the way, quality therapists, BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the United States. Focus on your therapy goals. It's a short questionnaire. It's very simple, and it is private. You don't have to worry about sharing your thoughts with the world. This is what works. This month, don't wait to reach out, whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out for a therapist for yourself. BetterHelp makes it easier to take the first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/warchant. That's betterhelp.com/warchant. betterhelp.com/warchant.
Work. No robots, no AI, no call centers. For all your septic services and portable restroom needs, one local call wipes away the competition. Call 850-510-8558. That's 510-8558. Or visit terrywestplumbing.com. When you call, we answer.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And they still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Colin writes, letting go of Surtain before Tokars, Storms, and Pap, meaning Papuchas, basically sums up this administration. Tom did help explain that perhaps the situation with Tokars and Papuchas is just that they're going to let their contracts run out.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that it wouldn't be reported when that meeting happens. But as I understand it, there was Surtain, it was communicated to Surtain that even though his contract is expiring, they're parting ways. And so that meeting can certainly happen for other coaches, but it apparently has only happened for Surtain so far. I don't think they're done, though. There's no way that they're done. I'm assuming many of the names that are being bantied about right now won't be back.
It's interesting that Mike, I guess, just didn't feel comfortable addressing that.
Interesting is a great word. I think it does heavily imply, and I know folks have said this in the chat, but it does heavily imply that Tony White's back for next year. Because remember, when Tony White was brought in and he brought in some of his lieutenants, Evan Cooper was one of those, and Evan Cooper served as the safeties coach this year, whereas Surtain retained the title defensive backs coach, but Surtain's focus was on the corners. So
he's gonna let his guy coach up the secondary the way that he wants it. I have less of a problem with that. A lot of people will have a problem with it. I understand. I have a problem that any of these coaches are here. But in terms of year over year, I have less of a problem because when you bring in a DC, he's going to want to recruit to his system, and he's going to want to run it the way that he wants to run it. Now, I'm a little worried about that aspect, the recruiting aspect of it. I'm not real sure that Knighton and Tony are doing a great job in recruiting. Let's put it that way. But not, we'll have to wait and see.
They've been, I think that class, a defensive class, the top line of it isn't bad. 2 good linebackers, a good edge rusher, and then obviously Chuck Kennan, who would have been here no matter who was the coach, I think are all good gets. But
we hope that's still the case.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the Desir showed up out of nowhere, and I think Tony was here to sign off on them. Maybe he wasn't here in time.
I can't remember either on that. That's the hard part here.
But we'll see here. There are coaches, they exist out there who bring in 3 stars because they can evaluate, and they say that guy fits my system perfectly. And you go, well, he's done it again. Like that is something that happens elsewhere.
Yes.
And Tony is in really the culmination of the first full year in his system. That's not backpedaling. That seems to be just where we're going right now. Otherwise, I think you would have kept Surtain if you thought Tony was leaving. I don't know, though.
Elsewhere in the world of college football, it would appear that Penn State finally has themselves a coach, Tom Lang. Goodness gracious. That has to have been a nerve-wracking little run there, but bringing in Campbell from Iowa State.
Interesting. So if you're a Penn State fan and you got the 197th or whatever it was recruiting class, I think every fan goes to Iowa State's website, takes a look at their roster, and who are rising juniors and below.
Right.
Rising seniors and below, rather.
So Matt Campbell has always been extremely well thought of, to the point that it bothered me. I would be like, Matt, let's not go crazy with all this Matt love now. Because they did. There was a window where he was the apple of everybody's eye.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's hard to win at Iowa State, no doubt. Very difficult to win at Iowa State. You know what happened with Matt Campbell? He had that one great year and another pretty good year. And he had a couple upset wins, including one over Oklahoma. And, obviously his star rose. He's impressive when you hear him interviewed. And you really like his hard-nosed nature. But I think when you're at places like Kentucky and you're at a place like Iowa State, any of those kinds of places, the second that window opens for you because you take that program beyond what they're used to doing and have more success than by rights they should have given their location and their history or the lack thereof, you got to ride. You got to go. And if you don't, then it becomes stagnant again pretty quickly. It goes back to being what it always has been at a place like that, which is up and down, average, hope to make a bowl. That's what you end up becoming. It doesn't mean you're any less or more of a coach than you were when you were the apple of everybody's eye. It just means that the shine falls off of you and the luster is no longer there. I think that's what happened with Matt. It's kind of like, he had some pretty mediocre seasons out there at Iowa State here recently. Pretty mediocre.
I kind of like the fit just from this perspective.
I do too. I think it works.
Just he's kind of boring. Penn State's kind of boring. They got the whiteout thing, but I mean, really, does Penn State move you when you hear them? Like, oh no,
there was a time.
Color, well, it's like basic colors, kind of.
I love their uniforms though.
Sleepy town.
Yes, that part's true. Yes.
Hard-nosed football, but that's considered relatively boring. Yeah, they seem to fit.
Yeah, he's 46 years old. He's from Ohio. It seems like a guy you would say, yeah.
Isn't that boring by itself? He's 46 years old. He's from Ohio. That's pretty boring.
If he were in the middle of one of these blind dating moments, right, you'd be like, I'm 46. I'm from Ohio.
Wait, guess your name is Roger?
He played at Pitt before switching to Mount Union, was a defensive lineman. Then he was at Bowling Green. Then he was at Toledo. Then he was at Iowa State. Sounds about right.
That sounds
about right.
Like if they can't get Paul Christ, go get Matt Campbell.
Well, it's funny, too, because even though he's been a coach of the year before, he was the MAC coach of the year in 2015. He won MAC championships, by the way. He's a 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year as well. He's had accolades. But right along the lines of what we're talking about, he's 107-70, 5-5 in bowl games.
right. And he's 46, and he's from Ohio.
He's 46 and from Ohio. He's not, however, frumpy.
Fair.
He's not frumpy.
We'll see if Penn State does that to him. Like the squirrels on campus up there.
He had that great year in 2024. They went 11-3. Prior to that, 7-6, 4-8, 7-6. Had a really good year at 9-3 out of nowhere prior to that. But before that, 7-6, 7-6, 8-5. You're like, sounds about
9-3 is the boring coach's good year.
Oh yeah, man. That
he
is
had a 9-3.
Oh, Mark Stoops that year. I mean, look, didn't Kentucky win 11 games? I think that the one great
been
season
11 with a bowl.
It might have been. Either way, Mark had that one great year. You're like, look here, man. I was screaming it from the mountaintops. I was like, Mark, you got to go.
10-3. He had 2 10-3 seasons.
All right. Well, that's as good as you're going to get at Kentucky. As good as you could ever hope for. And I remember thinking, Mark, you got to parlay this into something, baby.
Well, it was 2016, 17, and 18. He went 4-4, 4-4, and 5-3 in the SEC. That's good enough.
Oh, yeah, man.
Goodbye.
Have a parade. You got to go.
What's
you got to
next?
springboard that baby out of there. It's not going to get better than that. Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV comes up next.
This is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. You've probably heard the saying, marry the house, date the rate. Here's what that means. If you love the home, do not wait on the perfect interest rate. You can always refinance later, and I can help you plan for that from day one. In fact, a lot of homeowners I worked with last year are refinancing right now and saving hundreds each month. Others are using the equity in their homes to invest, buying second homes or rental properties that are already building wealth. So whether you're looking to lower your monthly payment, get cash out, or start an investment portfolio, let's talk strategy. I'll walk you through your options and find the smartest financial move for where you are right now. You can find me at loansforknowles.com. That's loansforknowles.com. You can reach me at 954-369-6171. That's 954-369-6171. I'm Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage, and I want to help give you the keys to your next opportunity.
Go custom with your window coverings with help from Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Budget Blinds brings their showroom to your home with dozens of color and pattern choices. Just tell them what you love and they'll make it happen. From designing custom draperies and Roman shades to color matching your blinds and shutters.
I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds Tallahassee, where you get beautiful style and expert service for any budget. Call 668-4835 for a free consultation online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Honey, what are these mushrooms in our yard? Portobello?
Huh, let me take a look. Oh,
It's hockey.
I don't know, but our septic system is failing, and our whole yard smells like
Should we try to cook these up and eat them tonight?
This is bad, Sheila.
Well, we better fix it soon, or we're going to be in deep...
Sheila, look, it's Crud Septic. Our prayers are answered.
Call Crud Septic Service today. Pump outs, installs, repairs, crudseptic.com. That's crudseptic.com.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon, there is one every few weeks. That's why the 7th Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials, too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, 7th Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The 7th Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
You're
Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Potentially some good news for the Jacksonville Jaguars on the injury report. 2 key players returned to practice. Returning to the practice field yesterday, receiver Parker Washington, who's been dealing with a hip, and defensive end Trevon Walker, who has been dealing with a knee issue. Jaguars getting ready for a key game against Indianapolis on Sunday. Also this weekend, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers host New Orleans, and the Miami Dolphins, they are going to be on the road for a game against the New York Jets. NHL hockey, the Lightning lose to the Penguins yesterday 4-3. Penguins get the game winner with just under 3 minutes to go. Lightning back at it against the Islanders coming up tomorrow. Panthers lose to Nashville 2-1 in overtime. They host Columbus coming up tomorrow. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/125 to 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Did you know that the survivability of a metal roof far exceeds that of a traditional shingle roof? At Metal Roofing Sales of Tallahassee, we have a brand new state-of-the-art roll former that produces the highest quality VersaPanel, PVR, and standing seam options. And we will guarantee to match or beat any local competitor's pricing. We're a family-owned business ready to offer you the very best sales and installation service in the area. And don't forget about our veterans and first responders discounts. Call Metal Roofing Sales today at 850-536-9123 or online at metalroofing.sales.net.
God gave us 2 ends, one to think with and one to sit on. Success in life depends on which one you use. Heads, you win. Tails, you lose. Hi, I'm Rick Hughes, host of The Flatline. Heard every Sunday morning here at 7:30 a.m. on Real Talk 93.3 Tallahassee Real Talk Station. Come join me 30 minutes of motivation, inspiration, and some education as I seek to reveal God's plan by teaching 10 unique problem-solving devices. Every Sunday morning, 7:30 a.m., 93.3 Real Talk Tallahassee.
On the front lines, fighting the insanity of the woke, it's Matt and Brett Dawson.
And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But that's how we began the show. And for those just hopping in the car, listening on 93.3 FM, thanks for doing so. And if you're listening on Warchant TV, watching, I should say, or in the chat, thanks for doing that as well. Yeah, we began the show with the news of the day. The news of the day was that Florida State is parting ways with their defensive backs coach, Patrick Surtain. He has been fired. And we'll see if there are other members of this staff who subsequently will also be told to have a good day and take it on down the road. It struck us as odd that you would lead the firings, if you will, with Patrick Surtain. I think there are others who may have warranted the first placed position. First on the ledger, we're going to start with John Papuchis. Here you go. Let the bloodletting begin. That will follow up with name your next guy. Because I think you could have gone a while before you got to Surtain. Now, I'm not telling you that Surtain's done a good job. I am telling you Surtain can recruit. And there ain't too many guys on this staff who can. So leading with him, a little weird. A little weird in my estimation. Ultimately, if he's one of 5 guys that get shown the door, I guess it really doesn't matter the order. We'll see what ends up happening. But I thought that was kind of strange that that's the first name we heard today. But he is out the door. I would assume several other coaches will follow. And it's going to be interesting to find out if that's the case, which coaches are replaced by whom. And I'm curious who would be interested in the job right about now. If you're going to take your family and leave wherever you are coaching to take a job at Florida State, I think you're going to need some certainties. Typically, that is in the form of money and years. And I don't know that we're in a position to do that. So we'll find out which coaches are going to be let go and who they're replaced by and how that process played out. I guess for his part, Mike Norvell was really not willing to talk too much about that. He just said that he was grateful for Pat and the contributions over the last few years. He said he's a great man. He's done a lot with the program. Definitely wishing him the best as he moves forward and how we move forward with our staff. I don't know. That's kind of if you read that quote again, you're like, what? He's a great man. He's done a lot within the program. Definitely wishing him the best as he moves forward and how we move forward with our staff.
Yeah, well wishes all around. In the mirror.
I was going to say and how we move forward. I wish us well for how we move forward.
Might I say?
Yeah.
And can I add? I wish us all well, including the royal us. I wish us well too.
I want to wish him well as he moves forward, much the way I'm wishing ourselves well as we move forward.
And this is the season of well wishing, isn't it, everybody?
Lots of wishing. Lots of wishing.
Is he about to break out into chestnuts roasting on an open fire?
Penn State's hired Matt Campbell. They got a coach in Happy Valley. All right. There's a nasty little whisper out there that Florida State could be asked to play in a bowl game. It's come back around. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that because Kansas State opted out.
Seems
like a long shot.
No, we don't want to see you.
I think it's a long shot.
I'm booing before. I'm preemptively booing.
Yeah, you are. The Chicago boo.
Boo! Do not go to a bowl game. You did not earn a bowl game. You won 5 games, and 2 of those were against Kent State and East Texas A&M. You, sir, get no bowl. Boo! I shouldn't say it because what do I care? I'm not going to cover it. I'm not. What was the bowl that Kansas State opted out of?
Oh, Lord knows. I don't.
You're not paying attention to the bowls, Tom?
No.
God, no. You're not locked in on the bowls?
No. Today's focus was, are they going to do something, #do something before the nooner? And they did, but we'll see how much more comes next.
I'll tell you who did something. James Madison went out and hired Billy Napier. Come on in, Billy. He replaces Bob Chesney. I ask you, if Norvell were to be let go, would James Madison have called? I'm going to guess no. Just a guess. Doesn't matter. Why would I traffic in that? I need to move on from it. Conference championship weekend. Conference championship weekend, everybody. And there's a little bit of intrigue. We laid it bare a while back, and yesterday on the show I talked about how they had to make sure they insulated Alabama and protected them. And they did that, which I thought effectively rendered the SEC championship game not nearly what it could be with real stakes. Now, remember, go back to last year. We talked about the SMU and the ACC championship game a season ago, and I began to wonder, what are they going to do moving forward? Because you can never have a team that is positioned to make the college football playoff lose their conference championship game only to not make said college football playoff. Doing so renders the the conference championship games moot. And they don't want to give up that cash cow. So they've got to always ensure that there are no devastating repercussions for programs that reach, as a Power 4 member anyhow, the conference championship game.
Which is why my working theory is, and I'll be smirking as I watch I will watch this selection show. This is the only one that matters.
No, it is the only one that matters.
Because it actually dictates what happens. If BYU loses, and it's a reasonable
They're
loss.
going to lose to Texas Tech.
All right. Well, if they do, and they're going to, if it's a reasonable margin, I want to see them stay at 11. I want to see them stay in the buffer. Because I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to leave BYU right in that buffer position and say, well, Texas Tech is the team that they had lost to, and they reached the conference championship game where we can't penalize teams because also that benefits Alabama's case. So you could get a precedent 2-for-1 there that protects Notre Dame, Alabama at the same time, which for them is better than a Hims pill or gummy. That's exactly what they want.
Well, Alabama is already seated ahead of Notre Dame, Miami, in Texas for that matter, right? So they are in. There's no, they're not going anywhere.
Sure, but the lost speculation about should they have dropped, they can keep Alabama where they are, Notre Dame where they are, BYU and Miami. Just keep them all where they are and say, well, we're not going to penalize teams. I mean, that's what we did with BYU as well, as you can see here.
If BYU were to upset Texas Tech, then Notre Dame is going to get bounced from the college football playoff.
Yeah, somebody tried to spin something this week that Texas Tech would legitimately be out, and there's no way you could do that.
No.
You can't do it.
I said that.
No, somebody on the networks.
Well, I said they wouldn't do it, but I would be careful if I were Texas Tech because you're not in the SEC. You are not in the Big Ten. They will protect your ass and not care about looking like fools in the process. They'll just make stuff up on the fly, which they've done multiple times and just did this last one to ensure that their babies in the Big Ten and the SEC are protected. But I'm not so sure they'll go to war for Texas Tech. Now, it would be absurd if they got bounced from the playoff for losing in the conference championship game to BYU, and that's not going to happen, meaning they're not going to get bounced from the playoff. But if BYU upsets Texas Tech, Notre Dame is in deep trouble. The number 11 and 12 seeds reserved for a pair of lower-seeded conference champs, the AAC winner and either UVA or JMU. Duke could sneak in. Obviously, they beat UVA, and JMU loses tonight against Troy, which I don't – anyhow. Notre Dame rooting for Texas Tech. We'll all know whether or not their fate is sealed by 4 p.m. The Big 12 championship game will be the first one played tomorrow.
You're ready for the weekend, aren't you?
A little bit. Top 4 seeds are guaranteed first-round buys. You already know that. I'd like to see whatever it is that the college football selection committee, if they don't stick by their rule regarding teams playing the conference championship games, I'd be interested to see what their excuse is, but it's not going to happen.
It doesn't. They do what they want, and then they'll make up the reasoning afterwards.
That is true.
This is who they are. This is what they do. So just get ready. If BYU wins, that creates some
it creates
issues.
A lot of angst.
Yeah. No matter what happens in that Big 12 game, I'm gonna smirk and go, "Now what do you do?"
And BYU lines it up for a 52-yard field goal to win it. The committee's like,
right. But those of us that are rooting for rhetorical chaos, either way, this is going to be great. Actually, if they line up and let's say it's a 2-point game and that kicks for the win,
yeah,
it's easier for them to leave BYU right where they are. Easy for them. at that point and say, well, it came down to a final kick. We don't feel like that we deserved or they deserve to be knocked down a peg. I mean, look at the game.
Notre Dame would be in deep trouble, though.
If BYU won it. What I'm saying is if BYU lost it, they've got a late kick and they miss it. They're down 2, they miss the kick. The committee's like, well, we can keep them right at 11.
We have to.
Miami is F.
Screw you, Miami.
Miami is rooting for a what? Multi-score Tech win. That's the only thing that helps them at this point.
It's a toughie for Miami. You're going to get to hear from the committee in the way that you want to get to hear from the committee, because they kept saying over and over again that they didn't compare the resumes of Notre Dame and Miami because they didn't have them on the same tier, and yet they're going to be positioned right next to each other. They're going to be back to back. You cannot look in the camera and say we cannot assess these resumes because they're not on the same tier. They're right there next to one another.
Well, there it is. Everybody filling out the bracket. BYU at 11th still, and Miami at 12th. Just a tough break.
Well, we didn't consider because they're not on the same tier.
They're not in the same bucket.
Not in the same bucket at all. Good God, man. That is no. Hey, for the record, Texas Tech is a 12.5-point favorite over BYU. One thing I'll say about Texas Tech, of the teams that are outside of the SEC and the Big Ten, that's the team that, you look at and go, well, they could be a problem. And the reason that they could be a problem for people is they have a defensive line littered with NFL players. They went out and bought them. They've got NFL talent on their defensive line, real NFL talent. Like, those are dudes now. They can line up against almost anybody and give you a problem, whether you're in the Big Ten or the SEC. So that's one of those clubs that's outside of that precious conference alignment, and they could cause a problem.
It's certainly possible. I'll cop to it. Tomorrow's Texas Tech game will be the first I've watched of Texas Tech outside of maybe 5 plays this season. It's just never been high on the pecking order, and it hasn't worked opposite our windows because of our job.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested for the first time to see what Texas Tech – I know they're expensive. I know they're very expensive, but I'll be interested to see what they look like tomorrow.
You'll like them. You're going to like them. You're going to say, oh, I kind of like this team. They're 11-1. They handled BYU earlier this year. Their lone loss, they didn't have their starting quarterback, and they lost that game, 26-23 to Arizona State or something like that, I think it was.
I believe you.
You didn't catch a second of the 49-0 ass beating they laid on West Virginia last week?
Can't say I did. No.
You didn't watch them beat UCF 48-9?
If you told me that they changed their field color, I'd have to believe you. Or if they change it from turf to grass or grass to turf, I believe you.
Here's where I became impressed with them. I say somewhat impressed with them, where I started to go, ooh, okay. It was early in the year. They beat Utah's ass at Utah. And I watched that. That was the first. Now, in fairness, that was the first I watched them. I did not watch them against Kent State, Oregon State, and Arkansas Pine Bluff. And most people around here probably didn't either. But I did tune into Utah because I do. And I like me some Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And I tuned into that game, and they were dominant. They dominated Utah. And Utah may lack in a lot of ways, but they rarely lack for physical toughness. And they got beat up. Now, Utah's defense, as the year went on, got dinged, and they really couldn't stop the run. But at that time of the season, it wasn't that way. And the fact that Utah's offensive line could not block Texas Tech, and that is something that they can always do. Utah will line up now and road grade you. They've got great tight end play. They usually have a lineman a year that's going to go to the league at least. So I kind of thought, well, let's see if Texas Tech is their same old selves. And all those years we used to think about them being, kind of like a run and shoot team.
Yeah, that's me tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if Texas Tech
what do they got going here?
It's the same thing for Indiana. Now, I have watched Indiana, and they've done some impressive things.
They have.
But also they've avoided the big pitfalls on the schedule of an Ohio State or a roadie at Michigan. They played Oregon, and they took it to them. All right, but I'm not so sure what Oregon is. So tomorrow –
I think Oregon's good, but yeah.
I think they're good, but I don't know that they're Ohio State good. So tomorrow I go into that game like, all right, Indiana, how real are you? Like, you're good, but how good are you? Because if Ohio State wins that game 35-17 or 35-13, I'm like, yep, that's great, Indiana. You're doing very, very well for your weight class, but you're still Indiana.
Well, they're not still Indiana, no matter what happens.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes,
But yes, they are. Look, everybody in that league, including Michigan now, is looking over at Ohio State like, God, we are not close. We both know what should have happened 2 years ago. It didn't happen. Michigan's the closest because of the athletes they can recruit, but their skill positions are beginning to wane. And I like the young quarterback. He had a tough year. But they don't have enough weapons. But Ohio State is just damn loaded everywhere. It's ridiculous. They look like a pro team every time you see them. Doesn't mean they can't be beat. But, man. But the rest of the Big Ten is looking at Ohio State in the same way that they're accustomed to looking at Ohio State. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. So there's no shame there for Indiana. But I think the thing that Indiana, besides, winning games, let's just start with the fact that they win games all the time now, which is a miracle. I think the thing that really impresses me about Indiana is if they can beat your ass, they will. I love that whatever mentality he has got going into that team, they don't half step on people. I mean, it's just doling out ass beatings. There's a stretch here. I'm gonna read it to you. Including a 63-10 win over Illinois. Boy, Fat Bielema was like, good God, man, what are we doing here? But obviously to win on the road at Oregon by 10 is very impressive. But from there, 38-13, 56-6, 55-10. Then they had that great game on the road against Penn State, 27-24, 31-7 over Wisconsin, and then 56-3 over Purdue. They just steady beat down on people. Now, beating up on 0-9 in the conference, Purdue is whatever, but there's a lot of beatings that were doled out there. I like that team. I like the way they play defense. I like how tough they are. And I like this year's version of Indiana more than last year's version of Indiana, just because they've had to come back a couple times and they've got a little what for to them. A little what for to them. What are you laughing about?
Just the way you said the beating is, it sounded like it reminded me of an old prank call from years ago, and they call this taxi driver, and it's Al Pacino calling the taxi driver. He said, "What I would give to beat your face in." And that's what I was thinking of when the way you said beating. Like, Kurt Signetti will beat your face in. What I would give. He
will. I like that he wants to beat your face in. He does. Run it up,
and get me some more Just for Men while you're doing it.
Oh my goodness, what's going on in that conference with the Just for Men? Ohio State, Indiana, 1-2.
Maybe it's the Just for Men Big Ten Championship.
The dies are everywhere.
Yeah, die versus die.
Good Lord.
And today for the coin toss, even though he's not in the Big Ten at all, Bill Self is here.
Well, that's a wig.
And a colored one.
By definition, they're all.
It's a non-natural color. He's like, let's go with something that people have to think about.
Nothing's better than our boy Patrick, Mike Patrick, with the rust-colored hair.
The late Mike. Didn't he just pass?
No. Oh, is Mike dead?
I thought he just passed.
Oh, did you surprise me with a Mike Patrick is dead? You might have.
Yeah, he died in April of this year.
Oh,
there's the first. Mark the time.
When you said it, I'm like, he might be right. Mike Patrick is dead.
We did a segment on it.
We did?
Yeah.
On Mike Patrick being dead?
Yeah.
Goodness. I just must have blocked it out of my memory.
Well,
I was so sad.
It's a 2-10 offseason. You can't be held responsible.
Mike Patrick waddling out there at the TLC Double C and saying hello one day when I was over there.
John Shire.
Oh, my Lord. He was good for a long time.
He
though.
was.
He was a very good broadcaster for a very long time.
Snare.
And then boy, it went down a hill in a hurry for him when he retired, huh? After the Britney Spears episode where he was prattling on, he retires and he's dead like that?
I feel like that was 20 years ago, the Britney Spears thing.
Pull it up.
Almost 20 years ago.
Pull it up.
Find out.
Mike Patrick, Britney Spears.
This might have been part of that segment in April. This is kind of
pull it up. Mike Patrick, Britney Spears. That's all you got to do. It'll pull up. It'll tell you the exact moment.
What is Britney doing with her life?
What is she doing with her life? Who? Britney. What?
18 years ago.
18?
Yeah, 18 years ago.
Oh, no. It is fine.
I was in college.
Who? That is the best.
Also, good point from Tony Greco. Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat died as well. The Japanese actor.
I just saw that. I did see that.
That one hurts. He was in a lot of stuff that I had seen in my age group. Mortal Kombat, a movie called Johnny Tsunami. He was a part of the Japanese Empire in Pearl Harbor. He was one of the stars in Man in the High Castle on Hulu, which was good.
I saw that, but Pearl Harbor sucked. That movie's awful.
Hey, man.
And
I'm
really
not,
everything he was ever in kind of sucked. Let's not kid ourselves.
Donnie Tsunami was good,
He was in a lot of sorry-ass films is what he was. Chef Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. My mom will join us next. We'll get our wagers going.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653. Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachian Parkway.
Here's the cold, hard truth. Your body needs more than you're giving it to stay healthy. And now it's easier than ever with Vigor, the all-new cold plunge tub from Hot Spring Spas. Available only at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Cold plunges reduce muscle soreness, boost mood, improve sleep, and so much more. It's not just a trend, it's science-backed wellness. And now you can have it in your own home. Ready to feel alive again? Pinch a Penny has the exclusive home use solution. Visit us on Capitol Circle Northeast and take the plunge. Tired of calling 1-800 numbers just to get put on hold? Flush those numbers down the drain and call Terry West Plumbing and Septic Services, now offering Terry's Toilets, providing clean, reliable porta potties for any job site, special event, or backyard party. Real local people doing real work. No robots, no AI, no call centers. For all your septic services and portable restroom needs, one local call wipes away the competition. Call 850-510-8558. That's 510-8558. Or visit terrywestplumbing.com. When you call, we answer.
As we get older, health starts to mean more. It's not just about adding years. It's about making every year feel good. That's why Capital Health Plan created the Center for Healthy Aging, where care is centered around what matters most to you. Through your personalized My Vitality plan, adults 55 and up get one-on-one guidance for strength, nutrition, and lifelong wellness so you can stay active and confident in every stage of life. Call 850-854-8566 to learn more.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Might the rally be on? I have to say, very impressive. My mother within 6. It's whittling down. For those of you cheering for Mama to get back in this thing. She's pretty much back in it. Just down 6. I'd say that's being back in it. Cue it up, good sir.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room! Ma, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
All right, Mama, you getting nervous? You're there.
I know it. I'm doing better. I told Tom I'm starting to get my act together. A little better late than never, I guess. I said the one I had with you last week, different. I won. So that was the Pittsburgh somebody game.
Buffalo in Pittsburgh, and at halftime, was feeling pretty good. I was feeling pretty good. I had the Steelers up 7-3, and then the next thing you knew, back came Buffalo. So
I know, back came Buffalo. I know. Well, I was so mad at myself. I told Tom. Now he told me you had Dallas last night too. I didn't know that because I hadn't looked. But I picked Detroit. I had picked them, and then I'm listening to all these talking heads on the ESPN and stuff, and not one of them picked Detroit. They all picked Dallas, and I was like, well, maybe I should change my pick. That's gonna be the last time I do that because I did change it, and then there you go. I would have won that game.
Well, I kind of looked at that game as a coin flip game. Dallas, both teams needed to win the game. Both teams desperately needed to win the game. I think that in order to win the wild card, you're going to have to get to 11 wins. And so I think both these teams are still in some major trouble. Dallas is in big, big trouble now. They have to win out. I think for Dallas to make the playoffs, they're going to have to actually win the division and hope that Philadelphia falls apart. And Philly could lose to the Chargers this week on Monday, and all of a sudden, Dallas is still in it. But I think they'll have to win the division because, again, the wild card looks like that number is going to 11. So Detroit stays alive, has to keep winning. That seemed like a do-or-die game for both teams. I thought that both offenses would light it up. They did. And in the end, Detroit made enough plays and forced turnovers, and they get the win. So, don't feel bad, Mom. That was a game that a lot of people thought was kind of a coin flippy game.
I guess so. And I thought Detroit had a lot of injuries.
They do.
Defense. And I thought that, they wouldn't be able to, press Dak so much and everything. But, boy, they did.
Yeah, I mean, Dak still threw for nearly 400 yards. But, yes, you're right. I mean, creating the turnovers is where Detroit was the difference maker there. And also they can – I mean, those two running backs are very, very, very good. Very, very, very good. And they're difference makers. Okay, here we go. So we both had Dallas, and we both lost the game.
We both lost that darn game. Okay, here we go.
All right. Seattle at Atlanta.
Seattle.
Cincinnati at Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Now, you do know that Burrow is back this week. Just wanted to make sure you were aware of that.
Yeah. Well, he was back last week, and I do think he makes a big difference, but I still think Buffalo should win that game.
I do, too. Tennessee at Cleveland. Ooh.
Oh, that's a bad game. I picked Cleveland.
Me too. Washington at Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I don't know. I'm torn on this one. Both these teams stink.
I know, but I think doesn't Minnesota wasn't their quarterback out? Now he's back.
Their quarterback sucks. Both of them. They suck. All their quarterbacks, pure butt cheeks. That's why they did go get Carson Wentz, and then he got hurt. He also sucks. They got nothing. Oh, I don't know, Mama. I am torn, but I'll join you and pick Minnesota. It's a coin flip game. I'll take them because they're at home. It's one of the few home field advantages in the NFL, I guess. Terrible. Miami at the Jets.
Miami.
Probably will be a 2-point game. The Jets have won 3 of their last 5. I'm telling you, is it cold? It's cold as hell in New York City right now, isn't it? Gotta be.
Yes, it is. It is.
God, I'm tempted.
It'll be 40 degrees for a high on Sunday. That's actually
Miami
not bad.
probably didn't like that cold weather, but I don't know. I can't believe they can't beat the Jets.
Jets have won 3 of their last 5.
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are out here winning football games.
So it's 40 degrees, light winds on Sunday.
40 degrees, light breeze on Sunday. That's not cold enough. If we had it in the 20s, I'd take the Jets. I'll take the Dolphins, but I don't like my pick. All right, the Saints are at the Bucks.
I'm taking the Bucks. Now, we better kick their butt all over the field. I'm telling you right now, we better. I know it makes me nervous because New Orleans always gives us a hard time, but dear Lord, and we're getting a lot of people back, and I just feel like we should win.
Well, yeah, we should win, and I'm picking us as well, but I don't know that it'll be all over the field. Colts, Jacksonville, good game.
Oh, yeah, that is a good game. That was one of the games I told Tom I was kind of nervous about. I took Jacksonville.
I'm going to take the Colts. There we go. We got one different. I'm going to take the Colts, and I'm nervous about it. Pittsburgh's at Baltimore.
Oh, did I take Baltimore? I think I did.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
Denver at Las Vegas.
Denver.
Chicago at Green Bay. Here we go.
Yeah, this is a goodie. I tell you what, Chicago's really been playing good. I took Green Bay at Green Bay. I did. I think that's one of the home fields that does make a difference. I took Green Bay.
I did too. The Rams, we both have beating Arizona.
Yes, we do.
Houston at Kansas City.
I know that's another one of my games I'm nervous about. Houston's been playing pretty good. I took Kansas City. I feel like it's one of the where these are. It's like some of these teams, like you were talking about Dallas. I think they have to win.
They have to win out, and it's the only reason I'm taking them. I think Houston's better than Kansas City, and I think Houston should win the game. But a couple of things at play here. That game is at 8:30 at night in Kansas City. A desperate, veteran-laden team up against it, perhaps for the final time. They got to win out. All right, I'll do it, but I don't like it. I'll take Kansas City.
I think Houston could beat them too. I really do, and it won't hurt my feelings if they do. Except that I'd like to get the win. But anyway, if you're picking Kansas City, then that's okay.
Then we can both pull for Houston.
I think that is a goodie. That's going to be a goodie.
Well, just for the record, obviously the Texans aren't just playing well right now. They're playing excellent. They've won 5 of 6, and they beat the Jags, obviously, that comeback win. They throttled they beat the Titans, and then they beat the Bills, and then they beat the Colts. So they've played really, really well lately. They're a bit of a problem. Their defense is the best in the National Football League right now. Philadelphia, this will be curious to see who you go with. Philadelphia at the Chargers.
I know it. I took Philadelphia. The Chargers have kind of let me down a couple of times. I really like them. I know they're playing at home, but I took Philly.
Give me the Chargers. All right, we've got a second game different. Yeah.
All right, we've got 2. Oh, Lordy, I need to win at least one of these.
You can cut it to 4 if you get the sweet mama.
I know. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, Lordy. We'll see. We'll be watching.
Love you, mama.
You guys have a good weekend.
You do the same.
All right. Love you, honey.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Good football weather on Sunday night. You've got
what do they got?
Low 20s, upper teens with a slight breeze in Kansas City for that game.
Yeah, I worry about it a little bit.
That favors Houston.
Well, they're both good defensive teams. Stroud's been playing well lately.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good game.
It is.
That's a really
NFL,
good game.
The primetime windows and the spread, they don't have more than 5 or 6 good games these next few weeks, but they're all spread out. So each window, you're really getting good stuff between now and Christmas, which is great. And also, they're supposed to announce, I think I'm going to get rid of the fledgling plan to go to Charlotte for the Bucs game on the 21st. But you know that they can flex now to Monday Night Football?
Yeah,
you can flex from Sunday to Monday, which is crazy. You could do that this late in the season.
We are always in Charlotte, though. That's the other reason that you're ready to jettison that plan, is we're always in Charlotte. Well, I'm in Charlotte more than you are, but I'm tired of Charlotte.
I've got a flight credit that expires in March. It's kind of burning a hole in my proverbial pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to know by the 8th or the 9th whether or not it's going to get flexed out of 1 o'clock. I feel like Panthers Bucks is going to have enough stakes that it might get flexed to 425 or even Monday Night Football that particular week.
Let me look at something here. We should do this up since we got screwed by the team we cover and that we love, meaning the Florida State University Seminoles. Just disappointing every day, every effing day. But here you go, buddy. New Orleans this weekend in Tampa, then it's Atlanta, then it's at Carolina. We could go down to Miami.
On the 28th?
We could go down to Miami on December the 28th. It'll be nice weather down in Miami then.
It's too warm.
I know some people down there.
You do know some people
we
down
could
there.
have a good time in Miami now.
Oh, Go to the taco joint.
Oh, forget about it. We may end up dead there. It's wonderful.
Florida State football killed them. The taco joint finished the job.
Yeah. That might be a fun one to do. I'm going to look into it.
You go for that.
I may go for that. I may fly down there for
Maybe
that.
you take care of that one. I'll take care of the Panthers, and with our powers combined.
Yeah, you go to the Charlotte game. I'll take it down to Miami. I got people in Miami. I got places. I got things. I could have
There's
a
a
good time in
place
Miami.
that I stayed for the ACC kickoff years ago that was
Oh,
gorgeous.
I loved your
in
place
downtown.
that you had down there. Yeah.
I have to look that place up. It wasn't that expensive
But
either.
you're still in Charlotte.
But at least everything's walkable there. That is the upside to Charlotte.
It is, including Connolly's.
Right.
It's right there. You could be there for hours and it wouldn't matter. You could just.
I would take the first flight out on Saturday to enjoy the whole day at Connolly's and with the playoff. And yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, War Chant TV.
Your local news now.
A Tallahassee man serving time for aggravated stalking of his wife and domestic violence charges is now being charged with murder solicitation per a probable cause affidavit. Michael Moricelli, a current... Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McLemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. High of 73 this afternoon under cloudy skies with thunderstorms likely. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected with fog in spots tonight. Chance for storms 53. Cloudy and foggy early tomorrow. Chance of thunderstorms. Highs level off around 56. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 68.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And you still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV on Libations Friday. I did not get to this, so I should do
That
so.
sounded
now.
like one of the alternate takes for the Muppet Show. You know, the entrance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. As a kid, the Muppet Show. But
as an adult, the Muppet Show. You go back and watch it.
No, but I'm talking about the anticipation as a kid of sitting down, watching that.
That's the best Christmas movie, too. They got it.
It's really, really good. But we are we're in the time of year where the jug band comes back.
Emmett Otter. That's a Thanksgiving movie in my household traditionally, but yes.
I'll be watching that in the next couple of weeks. I have to break out my shirt. I got the Emmett Otter shirt that I don't wear during the course of the year unless it's holiday season. So I'll do that.
I love the jug band.
Me too.
It's Chuck, right? Isn't
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I just like when they're going down the
That's
icy
hungry.
river and the way it it's it's fantastic.
Come on, Emmett.
Yeah.
Okay, Ma.
The poor mom. She works her ass off.
That's right.
Dad left him in the lurch. He kicked the bucket though, didn't he? That was the sad part.
I think
he's dead. Yeah. Carson writes, "Oh, I can't hear the name Carson without cracking up.
Hello, Carson.
That's it. Every time. If I see the name Carson like I see it right here, I'm just picturing him walking up the steps every time. And it's the most evil scene because he hears the footsteps behind him on the stairs. And you know the second you hear those footsteps behind you, you're dead. You've been got. The look on his face. Woody Harrelson knows it.
If the rule you followed brought you to this, of what use was the rule?
Yeah. Oh, it's so
Do
good.
you have any idea how crazy you sound? Yeah. You are? Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. Oh, Carson. That is such a good one. That line is so good. And there's like a mutual respect. It's the only time that he shows an ounce of respect for somebody.
Yes.
He kind of respects him.
That he had to go to all the trouble to trick him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He took that seriously.
Oh, and there was and at that moment, Woody has to know. Yeah, this is it. You're in the final minutes of your life. There's no. I would have never gone in the room with him.
Yeah, no, the staircase. The staircase is the opportunity.
Yeah,
That's
you've got the better chance.
You're going to put a bullet through my shoulder as I tackle you on the staircase, and then it's a coin flip.
Yeah, we'll see if I can. Yeah, because I'm not walking into that room. The second I do, we're done.
Yeah,
and we all know it. And it's going to be whatever way you want it to be, and I can't have that. No.
Right, yeah,
because you're crazy.
Staircase not optimal, but we're using the stairs.
Yeah, it's one pause. Probably going to die here. Let's go.
Right, and also you're landing on top of him for the first.
Yeah, you might hurt him. You might get some satisfaction out of hurting him as he kills you. You got something.
And then maybe the front desk person comes
running
with.
over.
They weren't dead yet.
They weren't dead yet. No, I didn't think they were.
No, they
dead
were
yet.
dead when he was coming for
Brolin.
For Brolin.
Yeah, when Brolin went around the corner, the guy was dead. Yo, it's the best. All right, Carson, now that we went on that little diatribe, you guys know it as No Country for Old Men. Is it just me, or does it make no sense to fire your best recruiter on staff in Sertan when your whole staff is cheeks at recruiting? No, Carson, I said that sentiment, that very same sentiment. Now, I'm not telling you that they should have retained him necessarily, but he can recruit, and they don't recruit. So, it's a toughie. It's a tough look. In a series of tough looks, it's a tough look. It's not enough for me to get, riled up. I hope it's one of many coaches that are being told to have a good day.
It's also further evidence that really just when it comes to day-to-day communication of what they're doing, it in the end, does it really matter? From their perspective, I'm sure it doesn't. And in truth, it probably matters very little. But we would take all of the little things, the L in the CLIMB acronym, we would take some of the little things right now as indicators of command and strength of the situation. It was reported that Sertan was let go. We couldn't release a statement that he was before it was reported, or you couldn't come to the dais with more firings ready to discuss those after you go through the class today and say, I'm glad you asked that question. On that note, we have the following staff changes to report. Like, I get it. It's a very little thing, and it matters not this time next month, but it would at least indicate to the folks out there that, all right, Mike's on top of this.
Well, they never seem to be organized, Tom. There's always sort of this feeling of no rhyme, no reason. It's part and parcel to that.
It's a little thing, but they should matter because that's part of the climb is the little things.
The crime is not happening any longer. We fell from whatever mountaintop we were perched long ago, and we have not gotten back. We have further slid down the mountain. There is no return.
I don't know. I heard that they were working with the Chiefs on a CLIM B chant.
And then the audience goes,
What was that?
A B.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if everybody in the stands did it at the same time?
Like they're electrocuted?
No, I think it would be incredible.
How does climbing electrocute
How
you?
great would it be if they did the CLIMB and right at B, the entire stadium.
Well, he needs to be the head coach at Georgia Tech now.
They've been doing heavy lifting at Georgia Tech and climbing all along. They're all right with Brent Key. That's why they re-upped them and gave him more money. It would be fun. See everybody in the stands do that. Like in Wisconsin, they're jumping around. Here, just like Florida State's losing it, folks. Look at this new tradition.
Are they buzzing?
They're buzzing. It has nothing to do with them. Bob, I believe it's part of the B and climb. I still don't get it.
Right.
You know,
yeah. Get to the holiday party a little later. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
You had a couple. Feeling good, huh?
Right. Oh, where's the good stuff?
Yeah. I'm worried about Arnaud and Rawls now. I'm worried that those two gentlemen will say, I'm going to take it on down the road. Those were two people that I did not want to see leave. There weren't too many that I felt strongly about retaining, but those would be two.
Yeah, Rawls was a player this year for us. And I go back to one game specifically, but he was good and physical. He was a little emotionally out of control several times, which drove me nuts. The Virginia game, he almost got flagged for unsportsmanlike.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Surtain that yanked him off the field in real time. Remember that?
Yes, he was angry. Yeah.
But the Pitt game, when everybody looked timid, he looked tough. And he was physical amongst that group. So, yeah, that'd be a toughie to lose.
We'll see if they do. They might not.
They might not. Just pay the money. Pay the man his money, and he comes back.
Steven's going back a long ways, totally out of context, but can I get a yick, yick, you? That goes all the way back to when Alabama hired Nick Saban. And I talked about the old men on the front porch talking about the Saban screen and all those things. And Section C, can I get a yick, yick, you? And then,
is that related to the Shigadig-Doo, or is that different?
Shigadig-Doo, yick, yick, you, all the things of Alabama, the running of the Gumps, it's all there. I miss so desperately. Oh, maybe the yick, yick, you was for Tennessee. Live Spectator, you're right. That could have been. We used to sing Rocky Top. Millar and I used to do that all the time. Rocky Top. Woo! Yeah. Shigadig-Doo was Rocky Top. That was
That wasn't part of it. That was before me. I don't remember you and Millar ever singing Rocky Top. I remember
that was back when Tennessee would occasionally rise up and give Florida a hard time when Florida was really good. And so we would go into those weekends always excited about that matchup, and we'd sing Rocky Top.
The best thing that he did SEC-wise was the Creole speak.
Yeah.
He was very good at that gibberish, whatever. He was like, hammers. It's pretty awesome.
I told you that one week that I answered phones for an HMO in between jobs.
No.
This is 35 years ago.
Lasted a week, did you?
1 week. I was like, what am I doing? My buddy was like, yeah, you just answer phones. You tell them what policy. You hit a button and it goes to another operator. You don't have to do anything. And you just make some money while you're figuring out what you're going to do. I was between jobs and there was a line for Creole. And they told you, yeah, because people would call in from all over the country. And they told you, like, hey, here's Spanish, here's Japanese, here's what, like, I don't know how many languages we had, but one of them was Creole, because you could call in from Louisiana. And they're like, if you get somebody who speaks Creole, you have to tell them that you're sorry that you can't understand them. Please, I'm going to transfer you to somebody who will be able to help you. And they had one person on staff who would do the Creole. And I had a guy call in and he did the I was like, what in the world? I was like, oh, we got a Creole. Here we go.
Like he's possessed.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Mike did specifically say he couldn't wait for these offensive line players to get coached by Herb Hand, which felt confirmation Gus and Hand would stay. Maybe only Herb, but felt like foreshadowing. You're right, Christopher. I noticed that too. And I think I was just hoping against hope that that's not what it meant.
on the both, you'd be okay with Herb, or would you not?
Oh, I'm okay with Herb just fine. I just don't need Gus back at all. I think your chances of getting real quarterbacks are hindered greatly in Gus's offense. And also, I hated watching it.
Well, quarterback-wise, Tommy's waiver was denied. Mike Norvell spoke to that, and he says he's continuing his fight. There was, I think, a lawyer of some kind on social media that said they're going to appeal to see if they win it, which, who knows? That is a coin flip always in those circumstances. But Mike did hint that they got to move on. I believe he used the words move on because they don't know what Tommy's status is. So I think that's the delicate way of saying that you can expect a new quarterback here.
You think
year,
they were
no matter what?
Yeah. Do you think they were in the? They would never talk about this, but do you think they were in the offices and the call came in? Mike, it's John. Oh, hey John, how are you? I'm out here fighting for Tommy. Is how I'm doing, Mike, and it's not going well. Oh, I'm sorry. I hear that. What's the word? It's not looking like we're going to get it, Mike. We're not going to get the year of eligibility for Tommy. I promise you, Mike, I'm fighting. I'm doing everything I can, and we're going to appeal. So you hang in there. Well, I don't know that we can. But I wish you and Tommy all the best. Thanks, Mike. I understand. I'll let you know if anything else develops. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Click, and then, woo! We're good, boys. I'm able to have that presser today and let everybody know it's time to move on. Now, I'll say it delicately and with a bunch of you knows. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with us. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Hey, Knowles fans. It's Shannon Young with Cross Country